Hey everyone, in this quick tutorial, I'm putting together this Frozen inspired castle cutout. The design itself is pretty simple, but there are a couple of delicate pieces I want to point out just to avoid confusion. And there's a link in the description if you don't have the design. Everything here is built in layers, the castle, the base, and the background. I'm going to walk through the castle pieces first, then the snowflake base, and then the background options. Start by assembling the castle itself from the back to the front. You're going to line up each layer carefully so at the bottom stays centered and aligned. Take your time here because this part really sets the look for the final product. For this, I like to use this foam tape to make the castle really pop out. Next, you want to add the details that go on each tower. For this, I recommend using a craft glue with a precision tip because they are pretty small pieces. So that's all for the castle itself, and here's one that I put together earlier with lighter cardstock. Next is the snowflake base. Here's where you want to be careful because if you are using a cutting machine like a Cricut, taking the snowflake cutout off the mat can be kind of challenging because as you can see, it is a really intricate cut. I recommend weeding out all of these inner pieces and then the rest of the surrounding paper first so that you're left with just a snowflake on the mat, like this. I think that this is the easiest way to get the design off the mat without ripping the paper. If you can think of a better way, please leave a comment down below. You want to align the cut lines and the fold lines very carefully and then glue the two pieces together to complete the base. You should get something like this where it folds up to support the castle. Next is the background. This is your dark sky layer with the wind and snowflake cutouts. It's super straightforward, just glue it on top of the white cutout and make sure the bottom is aligned. The background is a super important element if you really want your castle to stand out. Now for the delicate parts, the bridge and the balcony. These pieces are cut slightly longer on purpose so you can trim them down to your desired length. Here's the original pieces without trimming. As you can see, they're longer on top and the balcony is longer at the bottom. So the amount that you trim will depend on how you built your castle. Just for an example, this is how my bridge and balcony compare. The balcony should go from the top door to the bottom of the castle, and the fold lines are already cut. Since I used foam tape, I'm gonna have a little bit of space in between each layer of the castle. So I trim it down just enough where I can fold the small tab to stick the balcony to the castle, and then I do the same thing at the bottom. Okay, so it should look like this, and then the bridge attaches from the lower opening, goes through the balcony, and then straight down and attaches at the snowflake base. And it's pretty much done. So I also included this wind and snowflake background as another option because I think it does give it more of an elevated look, and to attach these you can just use glue or double-sided tape. And that's it. I think it's a pretty simple build overall. Just take your time with those smaller pieces and it should come out great. Also, if you have the file, make sure to check back every now and then because I do like to update the file to include a few extras if I have the time to add any. That being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.